2, 1, we're live.
I don't think we should be live. Not after that comment in chat. Um, Hello, everybody. It's been a while. It's been a month since we were on airs. Who? Oh, Emily. I know. I think I'd rather have Emily eaten by fish. Yeah, that's
Wow.
that question solved. He's an alleged DM before Emily gets in there, so just in case. Um,
See,
we
I knew Ben would answer me properly.
Yeah.
adorable pigs and sarcastic fish, I believe, is what Ben was looking for there. Um, you are very welcome to Saving Grace, where we ask the real questions. Would you rather be eaten by pigs or fish? I actually would like to point out that what hasn't been clarified is: are you being eaten alive?
I was about to ask that.
No,
That
no, I
was-
don't think
No.
so. No, you're trying
Sorry,
to
would you like
trying to get
fair
rid of
warning?
evidence.
Okay, so if you were a victim, would you rather your remains eaten?
that changed the answer.
Yeah, swallowed whole by a big whale-sized fish. Happy out.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
And then, like, all of your loved ones could get like sleeping with the fishes tattoos and stuff.
No, a whale isn't a fish though. A whale is a mammal.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. And you can't say sleeping with the mammals because then you're easy.
Sleeping with the marine life.
Sleeping with a marine life. Yeah, can you tell that we're all ever so slightly giddy because we've all had we haven't had a chance to get together for a while. Don't worry, I'll be killing the buzz with a horrifically dark story in about 5 minutes. So we always tend to preface this: if you weren't alive and being eaten by a fish, it implies you died in the water or were dumped there, and I hate that implication.
Well, I won't tell you what the start of our conversation was.
Oh, yeah, I was like, what was the start of the conversation? Where did that come from? We preface, if this is your first time watching Saving Grace, all of the previous episodes are we're on to session 6, I think. The first 5 sessions are available over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@d8dungeon. You can catch everything there to see what you missed out on. But the good news is tonight's episode is because we are missing T, who plays our titular Grace in Saving Grace, is out not feeling the best. So we wish them well and hope that they recover very, very soon. And we're looking forward to picking up the main adventure when Tendai is at their full health. But tonight's session is still canon. And as always, I am joined by Emma, Eilish, and Soph. And we will be delving into a dark chapter in the history of the Blackmore estate. And as always, because this is a gothic horror inspired campaign, I always preface it with kind of a trigger warning. If horror, gore, and sort of elements of the macabre aren't really your thing, this probably isn't going to be your kind of stream. I tend not to do trigger warnings throughout. I just do one very much at the start and when we come back after the break. Tonight's episode in particular will be touching on some very, very heavy emotional themes tied to abuse, loss, and even the death of a child. Now, that is not something that we play with a whole lot. I've spoken to the players beforehand. I will be avoiding a lot of the heavier detail. I won't be going into explicit descriptions of certain scenes and stuff like that. And the story that the characters are learning, it's up for them to decipher what is true and what is what has kind of fallen into the realm of legend. This is a canon event. This is a canon session in the Saving Grace: A Garden of Lies series. But tonight we won't be playing Dungeons and Dragons 5e. We are going to be playing the one-page TTRPG from Grant Howitt and Chris Taylor. the Beast. I've run this before on D8 Dungeon. It's a lot of fun. It's available over on Grant Howitt's itch.io page, along with so many other of their amazing creations and pieces of work. And as is always tradition with me running a Grant Howitt game, I will be most likely definitely ruining the rules at some point or another. So yeah, if all that because again, it's been a while since we've had a chance to play. Very, very quickly, just to mention some friends of the show over here at D8 Dungeon. A big shout out to the gang over at Mystery Dice Goblin, purveyors and an online store with all sorts of TTRPG goodies and accessories, including something that I am a little bit partial to, and that is the Mystery Dice blind bag that they do. That I've
Partial
definitely.
to. Definitely not obsessed with.
Partial is the fancy way of saying totally consumed with spending money on those blind bags. And if you use the code D8 at the checkout, you get 15% off your order. And we get a portion of that sale back to us. You help a small business, and you get some awesome dice with a discount code. So big ups to the team over at Mystery Dice Goblin. I have two other quick announcements. The first is a brand new episode of Romance in the Dungeon drops this Friday. Jesus, I'm just, do you ever make something and you're like, oh God, I really want everyone to like it and like listen to it and just kind of love it. The next two episodes are, I've been wrecking kind of Eilish and the other Romance in the Dungeon cast members' heads about the stuff that me and Louise recorded because they haven't heard it. They haven't heard any of this stuff. And this episode is just it's a real punch to the guts. And then on Valentine's Day, myself and Louise will be ripping your heart out of your chest, nibbling on it, and then giving it to the fish or pigs, depending on what you chose.
What more could you want on
What
Valentine's
more
Day,
could
really?
you want?
So romantic.
It's the perfect romantic listen to. Anyway, that's dropping on Friday. But before then, on Thursday, we have a brand new show starting. And I'm super, super excited because this is an idea for a show I've had for a long, long time in my brain. And then I realized that, hang on a second, I'm tired. So somebody else can run this and do an amazing job with it. And so I'm very, very fortunate that the wonderfully talented and wickedly funny Amber, cast member from Romance in Dungeon and a D8 Dungeon member, picked it up and is joined by three amazing players and DMs as we kick off TTRPG Trials, a 4-campaign part series where each cast member, and Amber is joined by some new and familiar faces to D8 Dungeon, and you're going to have to tune in on Thursday to find out who that is. Or you can look at our social media. We announce it all over there. But you'll find out who everybody is on Thursday. But the whole premise is each for 4 sessions, one of those cast members will pick a system. In the first episode, they will outline the system. The next 2 episodes, they will play the system. And in the 4th episode, they will review the system, both from a player's point of view and the DM's point of view. And we are in the middle of arranging interviews with the designers and writers of those different games to kind of come on board and talk about their work. So if you're like, oh, I want to try something new, I want to try something that's not D&D or Pathfinder or GURPS, I want to try something else that's out there. It's going to be a great series at looking at not only different Dungeon Master play styles, but also more specifically brand new systems. So you can check that out this Thursday, 8 p.m. Irish Standard Time. And I think we're still in GMT +1. But whatever, if you're watching this right now, this time on Thursday. And that promises to be an absolute blast. So, and I get to sit back and not do anything, which is great, which is the thing I'm most looking forward to. That's it. That's all my announcements. That's all we have to start with. So let's pick this up. It's an oppressingly cold afternoon, and the sweat that kind of collected on your brow, down your back, on your arms, the adrenaline that coursed through your system the adrenaline has faded, the sweat has lingered, and it has turned cold. Byron, Juliette, Grace, and Xander, as you are escorted by the gangly, awkward, filthy, strange fellow that emerged from the wetlands at the crossroads. And you hear him up ahead, muttering to himself, whispering to himself, occasionally looking back and smiling at you. And now that he's in front, all of you can clearly make out that while he's wearing mostly kind of rags and things that have been uh, kind of rescued from like garbage piles or clambered together from like stuff he's found in the swamps. He's even wearing some fairly rotten looking animal pelts. They haven't been properly cured or treated, and they're kind of just woven into some of his own clothes. And that kind of marshy, mucky cloak. There is remnants somewhere in there, in his garb, that he might also be partially wearing something that looks like a uniform. And Baldwin had made reference to the fact that he worked at Blackmoor Estate. That he works, not worked, that he works at Blackmoor Estate, along with many, many others, dozens of others who would call the Blackmore family their employers. And it is... it's one of those things, as the four of you saunter behind him, all the while he had been trying to convince you to turn around, to cross the swamps. It was safer. The salt marshes are... it's difficult, but she doesn't go there. She doesn't go to the swamp. Um, he defeated by your request, and as guests of Lord Blackmore, he had no choice but to adhere to your request, to your order, and he now has kind of sheepishly gone ahead of you, and downwind of him, the smell of the rot that's on him, the clothes, the damp, the sweat, the filth, the grime, all of it catches, and there is a stillness in the air that it's almost as if the wind has just stopped. You're to not get any reprieve from any of this as you sit in it. And up ahead, you clearly see a long, slightly sort of humped bridge made of stone. And he stops and he looks back at you, and he's just shaking his head very nervously. Uh, 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 perhaps, perhaps young masters and milady, and he kind of half bows at Grace. Perhaps we could I consider could um, this way, and he kind of just gestures towards, and you see his hand clearly shaking.
Is he gesturing towards the bridge or
Yeah,
like away from it?
he's done that sort of thing of like, kind of he gestures toward the bridge, and then he now is kind of moving in that way, his hand trembling all the while.
Xana will kind of, nod and kind of follow where his hand is pointing, head towards the bridge.
Okay.
How sturdy does the bridge look?
I don't know if do you have your D&D character sheet open?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can give me a perception check.
Ooh. Well, that is. Oh, okay, not bad. A 12.
Okay. So it's still most of it is still standing. So it looks to be sort of about kind of 40 foot, give or take a little bit. And it's wide enough to allow a carriage and a person or two to cross at the same time. But you clearly see Byron as you sort of kind of, it's that thing of almost looking over Xander's shoulder. Um, you clearly see that a section of the bridge has collapsed. Now, it hasn't all. Like you could still, a carriage would not cross without aid or some sort of platform extended to help it. But you could. It's still standing. The drop is quite deep, and you can just about make out the sound of. First, it sounds like a river, but then you clearly hear waves.
Perhaps we should take it one at a time.
Are you offering to go first?
Of course, you're almost there.
You're muted, Emma, as well. Sorry.
Yeah. I said the exact same thing.
Oh, sorry. That Xander should go first.
Yeah, no, that's the Byron should go first.
Oh, Byron should go first. Okay.
I don't mind. I'll turn to Baldric. And what did you say resided on the bridge?
It's just a story. Please pay no heed. I just a little tired, and I probably wasn't thinking. And you see that he is literally 1 foot away from putting his foot on the bridge, and it's that hesitation. And then when you stop him, the relief you see in his carcass, like his whole frame, it is a wiry skeletal frame. Like it's gaunt. He is malnourished. It just relaxes. Like it's that thing of like, oh, I don't have to go this way. And as he kind of turns and he begins to plow moss a little, Xander, he starts to tell you that it was just a story, and he spoke out of turn. You all just hear a thud, and some way back down the road, Grace has collapsed. Heavens! And like immediately, Baldwin just kind of like rushes past, careful not to like touch you or bang into you, Xander, or anything like that. Like he keeps himself low, but he kind of darts towards Grace. Milady, and he's now kind of he's hovering over her. He's looming over it. It's like something you would read in a horror story. This gaunt, skeletal, almost wraith-like living being drooped over a young collapsed woman, ready to pounce, ready to feed, ready to devour her whole. But you only see concern. You hear it in his voice, and he is terrified to touch her. Please ignore the cat that's crossing the screen. That is just
Never.
That is just traffic in my house.
Well, Grace did take a bit of a beating earlier.
It's a little inconvenient.
Just a tad. I'm not very au fait with the whole first aid thing.
I don't think I am either. Should we hurry this along? Get her somewhere safe?
Master Xander, the bridge is not in the best of conditions, and and he's keeping very low, and he's not making eye contact. Far be it from me to question or even suggest, but maybe we rest and allow the young lady to recompose herself and encourage her constitution to recover.
I mean, that's just me.
Out here?
That's everyone else.
In the middle of nowhere.
I have, and he kind of like he starts kind of reaching into kind of pockets and like into the dirty cloak, and he fetches out some dried meat. Cured meat is a lie. He just pulls out some rancid looking meat from a pocket.
So much worse.
And he then has like a kind of a small little like it looks like a bottle. It's clearly like it's dirty looking, but there's water in it. And he offers the food and the drink to the three of you.
I'm okay. Thank you.
No,
Very generous.
thank you. Yeah, that's quite all right.
Shiet won't say anything, but just put his hand up to refuse.
Perhaps we should move the lady off the road into a comfortable position. If you would permit me to carry her, and he kind of he's looking for someone to say it's okay to do this.
Shiet will nod.
Despite his fragility, despite how frail and weak he looks, he scoops Grace up off the dirt road with kind of a lot of strength that you were might be kind of slightly surprised by, but also care. It's like he's carrying something porcelain, and he's terrified that his hands will break it. And he carries her to the side of the road, and he leans her up against sort of a patch of grass, and he kind of uncorks the bottle, and he pours a little kind of water into her mouth. I think perhaps she was overcome with fatigue, and I said perhaps being of the female form, perhaps not acquired for such an experience. What with the bandits and the wild dogs?
Yes.
I was led to believe she was made of far stronger stuff.
She just happened to take a lot more beatings than we did.
Shiet will open his little notebook and be like, I think women are quite fragile.
Well, I can't say I've met many.
I've met some very strong women.
Utterly terrified to in any way address, confirm, or engage in your conversation. Baldwin is standing to the side and just sort of listening, and he's kind of now talking to himself. He's muttering away again. And again, you catch him hearing about you hear her refer to the lady of the house.
Baldwin, can you tell us more about this lady that you're terrified of?
Yes, was she strong? I need to update my notes.
I if you permit me, my good lords, and he bows. I I would be happy to furnish you with some of the intricacies of the story. But I must apologize for my language, and I would discourage you from discussing them with Lord Blackmore. It is. Uh, he has requested we refrain from discussing past matters and all manner of fishwives' tales. And he said his voice changes and he gets quite angry as he says it.
Well, we won't let him know if you don't.
And he starts to pick and pull at some of the weeds, uh, as if it's kind of like helping him sort his memories, sort his thoughts. And he looks over his shoulder again and he makes eyes with you, Xander. Uh, my um, my family have worked at the Blackmore estate for generations, and the lady of the house. Uh, it's a very terrible story, and we cut into the past as Baldwin Herbert begins to tell you the tale of Lord Clarence Blackmore II, a young man who employed his great grandfather. The story was passed down through the household, through the Herbert family, and many of the others who had stayed on to work with the Blackmores. And that is where we begin our tale properly tonight. For the characters of Byron, Xander, and Shiet seat themselves or find a comfortable position and they begin to listen to the tale, we leave them behind and we take up the characters of, bear with me, Nora, Millie, and Jacob. Can you tell us a little bit about who Nora is and what she does at the house?
So Nora is a human woman, probably in like her early 40s, very kind of weather beaten, hair's kind of was browns turning grey, very messy, curly. She has been recently hired as like a gardener groundskeeper on the estate. Not the most sociable of creatures, a little bit abrasive, but yeah.
And Millie?
Yeah, so Millie is kind of one of those people that if somebody told you they were 28 or someone told you they were 48, you'd believe them. Just kind of ageless. She's generally quite cranky, would not hold back from telling the truth. She's been around the town for a while, but was just recently hired into the Blackmore estate as a washerwoman. She enjoys beating the clothes and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
And as new employees in the house, Millie and Nora, you are working directly under Mary Royston. Mary is the sort of head steward in the house. She kind of looks after most of the sort of the housekeeping. Those duties would normally fall to the lady of the house. but Lord Blackmore II, Clarence Blackmore II, has yet to acquire one of those. And Eilish, can you tell us a little bit about Jacob?
He is your very stereotypical teenager on his apprenticeship in the kitchen. He is working under the cook, whose name is
Random name generator.
I don't want to name characters if Declan already has them.
Nope, name him.
Chef Roger.
Okay, right. This is why I will never be giving you naming names again. Chef Roger. His name is Chef Roger. Chef. That's where the whole chef thing came from, didn't it? You invented it on the bear.
Yeah, Chef and Jacob's dad are besties, and he was like, "Here, I'll put some manners on him if you put him in my kitchen." And as yet, he has been unsuccessful.
And sorry, I meant sorry, Jacob and Millie, ye work directly under Mary. Now I know Jacob works under Chef, but Chef would report to Mary, and Nora, you are working under the head groundskeeper Edgar Lynch. So the stables, the farm, the gardens, the outlying sort of wetlands are all under his care. As a gardener and kind of general groundskeeper, you would be kind of reporting to him, Edgar Lynch. And it's this, you as sort of three new employees at the Blackmore. It's really strange. It's been a week. The three of you had arrived, having answered a notice posted in the Craigfarnham Village Square that the Blackmores were looking to hire some additional help to get the house in order. Rumors had been abound that Clarence Blackmore II had begun to seek a wife, and as such, the estate needed extra pairs of hands. The people on Craigfarnham have a kind of an odd sort of love-hate relationship with the Blackmore estate, the most affluent family on the island for certain. Their proclivities and their behaviors have sort of estranged them from the village and the island as a whole. The estate actually lives on a part of the island that is almost cut off by a small chasm between the estate grounds and the island itself, but it's bridged by Fenlock Bridge. While many people have worked with the Blackmores through the years, not many stay in employment, and many more don't survive. So the stories go. Because for every real thing you've heard about the Blackmore estate, you've heard 4 other things that other people pertain to be real. Stories, rumors, whispers, fishwives' tales, legends, and myths seem to shroud the Blackmore family and their home. And now, a week into your new employment, you're starting to some things are starting to make sense. The estate, the grounds, the house are vast. Sometimes it feels as if just as you're beginning to know your way around, the halls shift, or an outlying building seems to vanish almost, and the memory becomes a fog, and the fog becomes a haze, and you're never quite certain. But something always calls you back, and As the week rolls on, you've been offered accommodation. Threats of a storm and harsh weather conditions uh, have sort of caged you here on this part of the island. And each night, for the past 7 nights, you, Mary Royston, Edgar Lynch, and Clarence Blackmore II have all been awoken by the rattling howls, cries that seem neither human nor animal. Something monstrous, something cruel and dark. And it's this morning that we begin. Nora, you are out surveying the grounds when the smell hits you. There is a heat on it, lingering and dying. It's there, but the smell catches. And it just reminds you of the back room of a butcher's shop. That nauseating, carnal flesh and blood, sinew and bone. And you catch yourself before you stumble into the mauled carcass of a horse. It has been torn open as if something has snapped its ribcage, pulled the flesh apart. And you can't help but fix an eye on it. Its face, its eyes are frozen in terror. What remains of its jaw, there's very little. Its throat has been torn out. You have stumbled on and it's a thing of in the blood. You can't see. There's just so much blood, and then you spot the coloring, and it is black jade, Clarence Blackmore's prized horse.
Shit. Okay. On seeing that, Nora is gonna start run. Whereabouts? Like, is this like quite near?
You're kind of
building,
near
or?
the gardens and the stables, so you're on the grounds of the estate, but you need to run to the house to get there. Kind of in the next couple of minutes. It's
Okay.
it's about a 15-minute walk.
Does it look like the horse had like escaped from the stables, like during the storm and stuff? Does the stables look damaged?
The stables don't look damaged.
Okay. Are all like the pens closed? Pens, is that the right word in the stable? I don't know.
Do you have investigate as a skill?
I do not.
Okay, so you can still roll. And the way the system works is we both roll dice, and for everything that you have that you think would apply to the situation, whether it's a skill or a background, you can add a d10.
Okay.
But I'm going to say this is just an easy roll. So
Yeah.
I rolled a 2. You have to beat a 2.
I got a 7.
That definitely beats a 2. If I've learned anything in math class, 7 beats
Start.
2. So the question was, like, do the pins look like they've been opened or broken or anything like that? You clearly something clearly kind of bothers you. Like as you look over to the stables themselves, they are terrifyingly quiet. Clarence Blackmore II has 10 horses. Black Jade is his prized, but there should be 9 other horses, and you don't hear any of them.
Okay. Do I see any of them if I head towards the stables?
If you lean in, you don't see any of the horses. You clearly see like animal prints, but not hooves.
Okay. I have track as a skill. Can I see if those adult prints are kind of going anywhere in particular?
You can, yeah.
Cool.
So you can. Okay, so I have 6. You can roll your 2d10.
I rolled a 3 and an 8, so that's 11.
Okay, 11. Yes. There are there are a whole bunch of prints. They're all kind of very much the same. They're of the same sort of species. So here's what you know.
Mhm.
You have a sense that it looks to be like a pack of dogs. But there's a kind of a different set muddied in them. You're not certain because it doesn't make any sense. They're clearly what look to be human footprints as well, bear footprints.
Okay.
You also know that they trek out into the marshlands.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to go try find Mr. Lynch.
Okay. It's one of the things where you are going to be kind of running around the estate looking for him.
Yep.
It's that like every kind of given day he's doing something different. Today, you know that he had said something about maybe checking some of the perimeter walls because there has been that heavy weather. So he's going to maybe just survey those. So, but the perimeter is the entire estate. So we're going to have you kind of run around and have a look. We're going to cut inside. With Millie and Jacob. And Mary Royston, chief steward of the house, is standing in the kitchen. Between the pair of you, there is a half a pot of blackberry conserve, and she's staring down at it.
Is it like on the stove?
No, it's on the table. It's set between the pair of you, and she's standing over the two of you, looming.
Do you want some? I mean, there's no point in staring at it. If you want to take some, just take some.
Yeah, like I had some earlier on some crusty bread and it was lovely.
Yeah. Do you want some crusty bread? I can get you some crusty bread.
I made it.
You stole it.
No, I had it for me lunch.
Mr. Jacob, how much are we paying you?
Not enough.
She just backhands you, Millie.
She's gonna backhand her back.
Oh dear.
I'm glad I work outside.
She stands there completely and totally stunned that you would, in your position, dare strike her back.
Oh, I have strike as a skill.
Okay, yeah, let's roll for.
Oh no!
Let's roll for this. She got a 7.
All right.
So, but you're going to roll 2d10 and then tell me what you get.
The first one's a 2 and the second one's a 5.
Okay, so if you score more than the GM, it goes well. If you score equal or less, it goes badly. Okay. So she just, again, it's that thing of she backhands you for giving kind of lip and for talking out of turn, and then I describe to me how this fails. How do you think this goes wrong for Millie?
I imagine she goes to, so she backhands her. Obviously, it hurts, and she, holding her face, was just like, "What the you absolute!" And then goes to stab her, and she catches her hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Before anything happens,
it's that it's that thing as she's holding your, and like it's a kind of a pincer grip on your wrist. All the while, her eyes are still locked on you, Jacob. I asked you a question, boy.
I'm not getting paid, Anne. I'm here to learn.
So that's your excuse for stealing from his lordship?
I didn't steal it and I made it.
You made it at Lord Blackmore's request. It is for him.
Is he going to eat a whole loaf?
It does not concern you how much the Lord intakes or digests. I will
Right,
put the theft up on the fact that you seem of the simple mind. This once.
If he had 2 brain cells, he'd be twice as thick. What?
I love how that comes out of Millie just as your hand is. Millicent, allow me to educate you on your position in this house. Should you ever have the ridiculous idea to raise your hand to me again, not only will I have you brought up on charges for assault, I'll ensure you don't have a hand to strike anyone with again. And good luck finding a job walloping rugs with the one hand. Now, his lordship hasn't slept. We are short a scullery maid. That absolute dimwit, Caris, hasn't shown up. So, Millie, I need you to change out of the scullery maid rags that you draped yourself in this morning. Smarten yourself up while Jacob here prepares morning breakfast.
And where will I find smarter clothes?
And she just points to a small cupboard off the back kitchen.
All right.
Do you need me to address you as well, or are you able of that sort of activity?
You want to dress me?
She pinches your wrist and just lets you go.
She walks up with a drink,
Royston just storms out of the kitchen. It is the pair of you just there.
She's a bit of a weapon, isn't she?
Jeepers, yeah. I don't know. She could do getting that stick out of her arse anyway, couldn't she? Jeepers.
Yeah.
Even the tide wouldn't take her out.
It's like I've just left fucking belly ferment running loose.
Millie is going to change and smarten herself up.
Okay. You find kind of like spare clothing, spare penny apron, all sort. Like it is. They're the. She mentioned Caris. You had seen her. Caris was like again a housemaid. Not so much of the cleaning variety, more of the fetching, grabbing, going, assisting, sort of bringing you the stuff to wash and bringing food that Jacob and Chef had made to the Lord. As when you finish dressing, you come out. You still, it's just Jacob in the kitchen. Jacob, Chef, has not shown up either.
Sweet, so
Thanks.
did you see Chef today?
No?
I don't know what to make for breakfast, and he's normally here by now.
Not something you're going to steal anyway.
Nah, I ate the good bits.
I don't know. What did he have yesterday? I guess the same thing.
All right. Scrambled eggs and toast it is.
Yeah, make us some as well, though, will you?
Ah, yeah, obviously.
What
are you going to do? Count the eggs?
What skill are you using to cook with?
Craft.
Nice.
Do you have craft as a skill?
Yes.
Okay, so scrambled eggs is 1d10. You have to beat a 7.
You're fighting the
I roll with 2d8. Oh wait, never mind.
2d10.
I got an 8 anyway. And
okay,
then,
so
what is over here? And a 10. The best fucking scrambled eggs this place has ever seen.
So yeah, you watch Millie as Jacob makes scrambled eggs and toast, and like all men, thinks that is the greatest accomplishment of his life. When it's scrambled eggs and toast. It is that thing. The food is ready. It's prepared. Extra has been made, and like at that moment, a cord is pulled and a bell rings in the kitchen. You see that there is a large board with several of these bells, small brass little bells. It rings, and you see that it is a bell for the master's study.
Are you gonna bring it up to him, or do you want to have yours first?
No, I'll have mine first. No, you know what? Yeah, cause yeah, couldn't be arsed with your one again.
I'm actually, there's a part of me that would love to do a Downton Abbey with this. My brain is like, I would love to play Downton Abbey with three of you fuckers. We've Dr. Quinn, medicine woman outside, like checking on the horses, and then we've got fucking upwardly mobile in the kitchen.
Yeah, she's gonna bring up which room is it again? It's 2 floors up, and it's kind of at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, on the right, I think.
Yeah, listen, I'll just shout when I get up there. And she'll take the scrambled eggs in the face.
I love also this is the story that Baldwin is telling you. These intricate details that-
And then she was like, fucking bitch.
So Emma is giving me big puppet on the den energy with this character.
I imagine Dustin.
No, it's Saki. So Millie, you again, you're normally in the laundry room. Like you don't really wander the house.
Mhm.
Occasionally, you might have to help bring down. Had to bring down a kind of a basket of clothes or some curtains or whatever it might be. Some of the heavier stuff. But you kind of wander, and just out of the corner of your eye, you catch Mary Royston on the first floor, and she just fixes a look on you, and then she just fingers in a direction. Shut up, Eilish. I literally saw as you were kind of going upstairs, she kind of just makes a kind of down, and then she points at a 2 large double black oak doors.
She'll do a sarcastic smile and then walk towards those doors.
I really want to do Downton Abbey with you. I just, you knock on the door, is it?
Actually, she'll shout, "Hello, breakfast."
There isn't a response.
And then she'll knock, "Hello."
Enter.
And so, holding one tray, she'll open the door with the other hand.
You enter in, and there is a strong smell of dwarf's beard snuff, like a kind of a tobacco kind of smell. A heavy sort of cologne, like it's that thing of, one spray is enough. 2 sprays that's a lot. 3 sprays is I can't really breathe, and that sort of sits on top of the tobacco smell. And they're sort of half thrown down on a desk, his head resting in arms. You see sort of the scrawny shoulders of Lord Clarence Blackmore II, just sort of lumped down.
Okay, she'll leave the tray down, like right beside his head.
Oh, Caris.
Caris isn't here today. It's Millie.
Caris, Millie, you all look the same. Please, would you just be gentle? I am trying to catch up on my restitution.
You're what?
Sleep to you commoners.
All right. Do you need anything else? You alright?
What? No. Karis, get back here. And he kind of just takes you by the arm. What is this? What is...
Scrambled eggs and toast.
Excuse me?
It's scrambled eggs on toast.
I don't quite understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. Perhaps it's the lack of sleep. Perhaps it's the dreams. Yesterday, Chef provided deconstructed ovum on sour crackers.
Yeah.
And
It's nice.
today I am being furnished with googie.
Yeah, chef's not around, so we kind of just had to improvise. So we just went with what you had yesterday.
Chef?
Mm.
And you said the maid is missing? Millie?
Yeah, and going by the smell of this room, I'd say they were all out last night with you, were they?
Maybe I've imbibed a little too much. I think I caught a bit of glib off of you there.
No, just stating the obvious. I'm very observant.
I haven't been sleeping, and Mrs. Royston had said that a touch of brandy would help. But all it's done is given me this absolutely excruciating ache behind my eyes. And I might add that every word out of your mouth is like a stab. So if you could refrain on the syllables, have Mary bring Chef or Karis to the study. I wish to know why they are late for work. Can you do that, Millie? Are you, in one syllable, capable of that task that I have ascribed you?
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Father always said when you people started learning, that would be the end of us. And he just sort of slides the tray over and just sort of like starts to poke and prod at the deconstructed ovum and sourdough crackers for the second day in a row. At this point, Nora, you catch Edgar heading into the estate, like he's heading into the back kitchen. And Jacob, the door swings open, and Mary is standing over you, and she is, in fact, counting the eggs. Edgar kind of lumps down and then just kind of takes a huge sort of like takes the skillet full of the rest of the eggs and just starts to horse into them. He doesn't say a word, and Mary just kind of rolls her eyes and then kind of just locks them on you, Jacob. Yep, go for it.
He was going to protest, but then realized that now he's just keeping Edgar happy, so he's never mind.
Nora's gonna run towards that back door. She's like out of breath. She's like reaching the door, she's shoving some more like chewing tobacco into her mouth and just kind of almost like throws herself into the door frame when she reaches the house. Mr. Lynch, oh my god, I've been trying to get to you all morning. You need to come out of the stables or something. Like you really need to see. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Nora.
Yeah.
If this is like the primrose yesterday,
No.
I really can't be bothered.
can I just say it's like we got a new fertilizer that we really don't want? Like it's one we didn't order?
You never look a gift horse in the mouth, though.
Oh, I was looking this one in the mouth, and honestly, it was shocking.
I'm going to give you inspiration for that. Purely, and I know there was a bit of a setup there, Eilish. I acknowledge the setup, but the delivery from Soph, there's not really inspiration in this, but we'll say you can add an extra D10 at some point, if needs be. And he's just staring at you, and Mary Royston is, Mr. Lynch, perhaps you and your associate,
Nora. Hi, I don't think I've seen much of you. Nice to meet you.
and you're welcome. This will be the last of it. We have discussed this. You are to have your meals in the gardener's shed. I'll allow it today purely because Chef is a little late, and we must make do with the meager offerings of the assistant cook. And at this moment, we're going to say, Millie, you kind of saunter on in.
Mary.
Yes, Millie.
I think I did pretty great, actually, but he's actually just wondering where Chef and somebody else, can't remember their name, is and why they're late.
It's Caris.
Yeah, the carriage. So, yeah, if you could just go tell them why they're late or what's going on.
Mr. Lynch, did you happen upon, and the two of them kind of go back and forth a little bit on Chef and where he'd be, Caris, everybody had stayed over last night. And then Mr. Lynch kind of infers that maybe Caris and Chef had a bit of a romance going on. And they kind of, they look at you, Jacob.
Yeah, she was always in here.
So you're confirming it then?
Well, I never saw them canoodling, if that's what you mean. But like, she was in here when she didn't need to be. If you catch me drift.
Unfortunately, I do, Jacob, and we will be discussing hygiene. However,
I washed my hands this morning.
Perhaps, Chef and Carrots lost track of themselves, their morals, and time.
Here.
I will let the Lord know. This probably does warrant termination, but that is up for Lord Blackmore, the second, to decide. I possibly couldn't make that decision on his behalf. And she sort of flits out, and as the door kind of closes, you see Mr. Lynch just kind of relaxes. Jesus Christ. Oh,
She's a bit of a
15 years with that woman.
lovely woman.
It's a good thing you're outside.
Not far enough. Nora, just lay it out. What fertilizer? What are you talking about?
Right, so you know the horses?
Yes, the 10 horses in the stables.
Well, so like there's not 10 anymore.
Some of them escaped.
I mean, kind of escape to the next life, if you kind of know what I mean.
No, Nora.
Right, so picture this, because I can show you afterwards and you can see how accurate it was. So the one he likes the best, like the one with the dark coat.
Black Jade, yes.
That's the one. So it's kind of insides or outsides a little bit.
Oh no.
Like I don't know what done it, but in the stable there's kind of like footprints, looks like dogs or something.
He immediately gets up and he bolts out the door towards the stables.
Aye, that'll do it.
All right.
Can I have some of those eggs?
Absolutely. Come on over.
She just kind of like takes the same sort of skillet, shovels like as much egg into her mouth as she can, forgetting that the chewing tobacco is still in there, and runs out the door after Mr. Lynch.
Oh, that's disgusting. If I could take that inspiration off of you, I would.
You can't, it's mine.
It's that weird thing where it's that like Baldwin's telling the story, and I think the real horror is the 3 worst servants that ever worked at the Blackmore estate.
I have done nothing wrong.
You fit the training manual of what not to do in the event of a crisis.
I sought help. I looked for my supervisor.
And I always lift with my knees. A couple of minutes later, Mary Royston kind of appears, kind of demanding to know where Mr. Lynch is gone. And then as you all kind of begin to fill her in, he comes back looking absolutely white as a sheet. He's got blood on him, and he's rambling about they're dead. All the horses are dead. And then Mrs. Royston has said that Lord Blackmore has summoned everybody to the study.
I don't know where that is.
Oh, me, I don't really think I've stepped foot in this house. Like,
I think we can just follow everyone else, can't we?
Yeah, and they do. Again, Mary, and she's sort of like goading Edgar. She's trying to like, what on earth? What are you talking about? And he's muttering about how will he tell the Lord, and so on and so forth. You find yourselves in the study, and Jacob and Nora, that smell of the tobacco and cologne kind of wallops you. It's heavy on the air, and you see that there is a half-finished plate of eggs and bread, and Lord Clarence Blackmore is standing at the window that overlooks the back gardens. Mrs. Royston has informed me that Chef and Caris have not attended for work this morning. Mr. Jacob, you believe that the pair have carried off with each other?
You fucking rat.
Well, I mean, I didn't see any canoodling, is what I actually said. I just said she was spending a lot more time in the kitchen than a maid should be.
Yes, and from that, Mrs. Royston has inferred that there is indeed some sort of illicit affair between the pair of them.
Claire was one of them married?
Yeah, Chef has a missus at home.
Oh, shit.
Door board.
I realize the 3 of you are newly employed around these estates, mostly because, again, Mrs. Royston has provided those details. You understand that I am your employer, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I'm not getting paid, so...
Oh, what?
Just kind of here.
You understand that I own the property that your families and your extended bloodlines sheltered themselves in back in the village. Yes?
Yeah.
I believe there is something on these grounds, some sort of animal. I've heard it late at night, and he starts to rub his temples, howling and mewling away in the dark. And it has kept me from finding my calm and finding rest. Now, Mr. Lynch, and Mr. Lynch steps forward and immediately blurts out about the death of Black Jade and the other 9 horses in the stable. A terrifying calm hangs in the air. Just this awful, heavy silence.
I scrape my boot on like the frame of the door to try and get some of the mud off it.
At that first sound, Blackmore, with the glass that he'd been kind of nursing in his hand, smashes it against the opposite wall. Lynch, pack your belongings. Take your family and find a different island. The three of you. You, groundskeeper.
Hi.
You found my horses,
I did, I.
and you found the tracks.
Yeah.
You find the dogs that killed my horses. You kill every one of them.
Here, look, like, I'm real good at plants and stuff. I'm not really good at, like, hunting or the old, like, animals sort of thing.
If you want a job and you want to keep your family sheltered, fed, cared for, if you want to earn real money, I'm in need of a brand new head groundskeeper.
So you are.
I'm also in need of a new chef.
Me?
Oh, well done, lad.
Oh, thanks. I knew the eggs were good. I didn't think they were that good.
Ah, they were brilliant. Yeah, they were great.
Find the dogs, kill them, and return to me.
Will I stay here?
Nah, you love butter and stuff. Come on with us.
All right, okay.
Like, it's only 3 things, so I feel like we can do that.
Are you going to finish them eggs?
Get out of my office.
Sorry.
And Mr. Lynch has kind of been standing there, kind of just completely gobsmacked that he's been fired. And he just, at that order, he sort of goes into instinct mode. And he turns and he follows. And he just kind of follows the three of you back down to the kitchens while Mary Roystron kind of begins to clean up the broken glass. And you can hear her talking to Mr. Blackmore as the door shuts behind you.
Eddie, are you coming with us? I know you just got fired now, but like you've nothing else on.
Might give you your job back if you killed whatever killed his horses.
And like, if you need somewhere to stay, like the greenhouse is pretty cozy.
I've worked here for 15 years.
Mary's not going to let you go.
My family have been on the island for 20. I raised my wee ones here. We're saving up for a boat. What'll I tell
Eddie.
my wife?
It'd be grand, honestly.
Yeah, you can just come help us, be grand. You'll come back with the head of the monster or the dogs or whatever.
If you want to convince Eddie to go with you, someone's going to need to roll a charm.
Me. Does that mean I have 2?
Yes, against his 1, and he rolled a 10.
18.
Woohoo!
So what do you say to Eddie?
Look, Eddie, I know it's real humiliating getting fired in front of 3 teenagers, but
You're not teenagers.
You think I'm a teenager?
3 youths.
Nope. Nope. You're the only youth amongst the group. But I'm sure the ladies are flattered.
That's what I was going for. Work with me here.
No, we've already lost 1 cook to noodling.
I really do think if you come back with the head of them beasts, that
Dogs.
he won't. Yeah, he won't be able to turn you away. He's just frustrated because he hasn't been sleeping.
And you see him mulling over it. Yeah. If we find the dogs, then he'll have, because it was not like I didn't kill the horses. Like you're right.
Oh,
you're
and
right, lad.
if it helps any as well, like when I saw those like dog track things, there's kind of like a human one there as well. So it's probably someone just out walking their dogs that may be slightly vicious, you know. Really, they should have them muzzled.
You think someone just stood there and watched their dogs eat his horses?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
That's a bit weird.
You see Edgar kind of shift at that.
What's the crack, Eddie?
Do you know someone with ferocious dogs?
And he's kind of, where are we in the house, do you imagine, right now? How far down have we gone?
Probably down the stairs, maybe outside the kitchen.
Okay, so just kind of in that sort of, we're not kind of in the back area of it. We're still kind of we're kind of between the main house and the kind of the servants' quarters and kitchen and that sort of separate area. He kind of pulls the three of you in, and then he gestures to a wall near the entrance. And you, like, he kind of, it's that thing of like, he points at it and he's trying to show you something, but it's not obvious from the distance that you're at. And he brings you in. There's a portrait of Lord Clarence standing there. And again, you do see the horse Black Jade kind of behind him. It's that thing of his hand is kind of resting on the horse's neck. And the Blackmore estate and the salt marshes are behind him. It's quite a nice painting. And then he's not pointing so much at the portrait, but the wall. The portrait's new. It doesn't quite fit, and there's something else that was there first. Like it's the way where the sun hits a wall and the paint, like the wood and the paint can slightly bleach around it. You can just see the frame here doesn't quite fit what used to sit there. And you see that there was an older portrait.
See, doing some decorating.
You didn't hear about the first lady of the house.
No.
No, we've only been here a week.
Yeah.
You said there was a footprint.
Aye.
It doesn't make any sense, but
Like no shoes or anything. Like dogs were out. No pun intended.
Come on, Eddie, don't be holding back on us.
Lord Blackmore, and he kind of points upstairs. His father. His first wife, Lord Clarence II's stepmother, or would have been stepmother. Had she lived, mind you, she just vanished. The weather was bad. There were storms. And the screaming. I was only an apprentice. I wasn't fully employed. Jesus, it's nearly 40 years ago. And then the woman, she'd walked the grounds. I know I saw her. I know I saw her. Nobody talks about her. Nobody was ever allowed to talk about her. She was here, and then she was gone. And look, I know it's just ghost stories and those things you tell the young ones to keep them in line and to for a bit of a joke. We've all done it. But some would often say they'd see her walking the moors, crying to herself.
Oh, here, that's the other thing. Like, the tracks were going towards the swampy area. Should have probably said that. That's my bad.
Why would she want to kill all her husband's horses?
I'd say she just died in the storm. You know, people fall into the sea all the time with those storms.
I know, but there was a storm last night, and like, what, 3 people have gone missing? So,
Yeah, that's a bit too much for.
But 2 of them might be canoodling.
maybe they went missing while they were canoodling.
They're probably just still canoe.
Look, it's all just gossip and rumors, but herself won't tell you this, but I overheard some of the older staff one night talking about it and having a little too much of the Dragon's Breath whiskey, loose lips, and apparently the young lady wasn't able to conceive.
That's an awful shame.
So what you think he...
I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling you as I heard it. Now, do I think there's no possible way she survived all these years in the marshlands without anybody seeing her, spying her, and then to be traipsing around with wild dogs? No, there's probably something else. But if you have the tracks, Nora, we'll follow them. Grab what you can, and we'll meet outside in 15 minutes. We don't want to leave it too late. And he kind of he heads into the back kitchen, and then you hear the outside door open and close. Is everyone just kind of grabbing their bits and pieces?
Mm-hmm.
Anything particular they want to do at this point, or?
Can I check behind the painting?
Yeah. Give me an investigate.
I have investigate as a skill.
Okay.
So that's a 2.
I'm going to say, because you're looking for kind of clues.
And a 9.
2 and a 9, so you got 11. And you beat me by 1. 6 and a 4. It's that thing. Are you kind of just lifting it back a little bit, kind of having a peek?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
underneath. Yeah. It's strange, Millie. You just go and have a gawk. You go and kind of pull it away. There's kind of nothing behind the. There's nothing behind the picture. It's just you just see the bare sort of wall. But it is that thing as you kind of where you're kind of peeking. You kind of see that there is sort of a drawing room here, sort of a space in which after evening meal, the dining party would convene. The men would retire to the games room, the smoking parlor, and the women would retain their company in the drawing room. And you see something kind of catches your eye. You're not quite certain. You don't know if it's because it has kind of a gilded edge and that the shininess, or what, but you do spy a sort of. It looks to be sort of. It's like the family tree, like the Blackmore family tree, all sort of descended down through the ages. Um, and it's this sort of tapestry that's hanging in the drawing room. And as you sort of poke your head in and you peer up at it, there's a family. It's not. It's not an. Is it an almanac? Is that what the? You can make it like a family Bible. Sometimes is what they're often called, but in this case, it's not Bible in the sense of the biblical Old Testament, New Testament, but that sort of again. There's a tapestry of the bloodline, the Blackmore family crest, and you now have this sort of genealogy book, kind of showing family, and it has been sort of bookmarked with a really fine piece of cord.
Cool. She'll open it where it's bookmarked.
Kind of prying through it, and you hear the door, like one of the doors up on the first floor, close. And Nora and Jacob are sort of in the hallway, kind of keeping an ear out or an eye out. You do spy that Mary Roystron is coming downstairs. You are flicking. You kind of peel the book back. It is on Lord Clarence Blackmore II. There is there are a number of different slips of paper, wedding invitations, family contracts, binding proposals between different households across Gaelshire, Visage, and Rotherham. And like you put kind of pushing those to one side, flicking back a couple of pages, you do see kind of Lord Clarence Blackmore II, his father, and then his mother, Lady Blackmore. And it's only then that you kind of spy that the page looks different to the rest of them. Like this has been inserted. This has been inserted into the book, where the rest of the books have that sort of delicate vellum sort of feel to it, and they feel old. This feels relatively new. Same coloring, but the page doesn't feel as old as the book, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So something else has been torn out.
How big is the book?
Like an encyclopedia for B through C.
Yeah, right. So big enough. Couldn't take it with me.
I mean, you could like shove it up your skirt, but you're gonna have to make it quick because Mary's like coming.
All right. No, I'll leave. Anything else I'd noticed in the book at all? Or can I look around to see if I can find the missing pages or what's been replaced?
Okay, so only because you are now doing this at a you're kind of now rushing through this to try and scarper. I'm going to say you can give me another investigation check.
Okay.
But I'm going to make the roll for this hard, so I'm going to roll 3d10.
Yeah, fair enough. And a 7. Oh, nice.
No, I got 22.
Yeah, all right. That
no. So it's that thing. It's you're just kind of flicking back and forth. You don't really know what you're looking for, but you have discovered that that rumor that Edgar had shared about perhaps Clarence's mother not being the first wife of his father. That missing page would seem to kind of make that a true story. And you head back out into the main area. Mrs. Roystron kind of gives the three of you a filthy look, and then with kind of, go find the dogs.
On it.
And she just sort of skitters away. Was anybody else doing anything at that point, Nora or Jacob?
I don't think so. Everything Nora's used to is outside or in the gardening shed, so she's kind of out of place. Okay. And here she's not used to
it. Jacob's, when they're walking out through the kitchen, Jacob's going to open a drawer and grab a kitchen knife and a corkscrew.
Okay, so you've armed yourself a little bit. And And okay, so we are, as you head out, Edgar is outside, and you see that he has kind of a mallet, like that he would use for hitting a post, and he has what looks like a scythe as well, sort of to one side. He's wearing a heavier coat to protect against the cold, but he kind of looks to you, Nora, to kind of lead the way.
Right, can I just get like my shovel or something out of the shed first?
Yeah, if you grab whatever you want to grab.
Yeah, I'll get a shovel and some garden shears.
Just the essentials.
That's the essentials, you know. What more could a girl need?
So you have a shovel and some gardening shears.
Yeah.
Jacob, you have a kitchen knife and a corkscrew, and Millie, you have
like one of those paddles you would use to kind of bash clothes dry with, and a jar of lye as well. Which,
okay. Okay. You head out into the wetlands. You are following tracks. What are you doing?
following Nora for the meantime.
Here, look, first up, this is going to get kind of mucky, so has anyone got sensible footwear on?
I have one pair of footwear that I've had for the last 7 years, so yeah, it's sensible enough, I guess.
Here, look, that's grand by me. Like, I don't, it's not like I had anything to offer you, to be quite honest.
Let's just fucking find these dogs.
Yeah.
So I'll just kind of go back. I'll show them the dead horse and kind of like present it to them, and then lead them like through the stable to get back to where the tracks like started.
Give me a track roll.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you add an extra D10 to this. So only because you've already had, you've had them, you've been kind of keeping an eye on them. And you are looking to beat 14.
Okay. 8 plus 2 plus 10. Not plus 10, sorry. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 5, 15.
Okay.
Rigged it.
Yeah, you're following the tracks out into the wetlands for quite some time, and out here, while Edgar and Nora seem to be okay about the whole thing, Jacob and Millie, this is awful. Like at the best of times, Craig Farnham, it's a thorn in the middle of the Black Sea. In the middle of the swirling Black Sea, and it's fairly rough. But at least it's dry sometimes. Out here, everything's wet. Everything is heavy. Everything smells, and you're constantly nipped and stung by insects. Your boots have filled with a briny muck. Your skirts, your trousers, your coats, cloaks are all sopping wet and laden with muck as they trail behind you. And you it feels like the wetlands are pulling you down. Like it feels as if hands have gripped you and are trying to drag you deeper into the muck. You are threading through almost knee deep through the wetlands when for a moment, Nora, you kind of lose your bearings, and then you catch the smell and you see the tracks, and then you see your own tracks, and you've been wandering in a circle.
Right, guys, just stop here 1 wee second. No.
What, you see something?
I do, yeah. Kind of like my own footprints again. We seem to have gone in like a wee circle.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
I wish I had sensible shoes, do you know that?
These
Yeah,
boots
these-
are pretty good not to rub it in.
Honestly, like I'm actually just surprised you still have both of them.
Anyway, listen, where do you know where we are at least?
We're in the marsh. It's
Yeah.
kind of really big. No, but look, I was following the tracks, kind of lost sight of them. Found my own tracks. That's pretty good. But we can get back on track. Hey, and just try and. Oh, you like that one? Hey, thanks. If I lose this job, I can be like a wee comedian or something. We can just try follow them again. Like,
I don't know. I don't want to do a whole big circle again, though. Is there something else we can do? Do we have like treats or something?
I didn't bring anything. I have some chewing tobacco, but really that's just about it. But that was kind of, personal stash.
Do dogs
There-
like scones?
Yeah.
I've scones in me pocket.
I thought you said stones.
No.
Well, let's not waste all the scones, but like, I don't know.
Do I see the tracks again, Declan, the ones that we have been following?
They again, you haven't lost them, but they're also kind of where they'd be kind of you'd been following like this pack of dogs. They have seemed to it's that thing now that you've kind of stopped to kind of gauge. They've splintered off. And it's only when, Jacob, you take a scone out of your pocket and you kind of take a bite out of it, you kind of start to crumble the rest of it up to try and get the smell and leave a breadcrumbs and maybe lure the dogs. The three of you and Edgar spy 3 pairs of glowing red eyes in the fog.
I think I may have found them.
Yeah. Dead.
No. Those aren't dogs. My granny told me a story about getting attacked in this marsh by a monster. And it had glowing red eyes.
Don't be saying things like that now. Shut
No,
up,
I swear my life.
No,
my granny wouldn't make that shit up.
no. It'll be a Shih Tzu or something. Come on, you'll be fine.
But look, your granny's only talking about one monster. There's clearly 3 pairs of eyes there, so there's either 3 monsters or it's just dogs.
Maybe the monster had babies. She's pretty old.
Oh, Jesus. Throw a scone at it.
She hopes a scone at them.
Give me a shoot roll.
I don't have one.
So you just roll your d10 and you are looking to beat a 15. Okay.
So close.
You throw the scone, it kind of disappears into the fog, and then there is just a low guttural growl.
I don't think you like me scone.
I think they're delicious. So don't.
And then
feel
you
bad.
hear the sound of their paws slapping against muck and wet. And out of the fog, the 3 of you the 4 of you, because Edgar's there too, you see 3 mangy, large wolfhounds. One with its entire right side just hanging off, like the flap of wet fur and skin, and you can see rotten flesh underneath and broken ribs. Another one is missing kind of the front of its snout, and you can see exposed bone and its fangs underneath. And that's in the background.
One of them is a cat.
One of them is a cat. That's how gnarly and messed up it is. Oh, it's so scary. The 3 of them lunge to attack. They are. What I'm going to say is they are going for the 3 of you. Give me, what are you doing to defend yourselves?
The good old shovel.
Okay. So you're going to use your shovel. And yeah, we're saying the shovel is so the way weapons work is you add the total rating of the weapon to your dice roll. So in this case, the shovel, like all the weapons that you're carrying are a 2.
Okay.
Now I think we're not going to throw the jar. We're more going to it's got like little holes on it to sprinkle lie out. So you'll like dust the dogs and burn them that way. If that makes more sense, I think.
I'll use the paddle first.
Okay, yeah, but just in case, just so you're wondering.
Yeah.
So
Lie is more of a threat.
And then have any of you any skills that you think are worth tacking on this?
Well, in terms of like attacking, I've got strike, and in terms of I guess defending myself, I've got endure.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go with on defense first because the dogs are attacking ye first, and then Millie and Jacob.
I've threatened.
Okay, so you want to try and intimidate the dog from?
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe kind of get it to back off. Okay.
I also have strike, but as you said, we're defensive.
Yeah,
first. Yeah.
And Jacob.
I picked heal. but I don't know if that's more of a after
That's
the
an
fact.
after. Yeah. Thing.
Rather than a heel like you'd say to a dog.
Yeah. I got to heal it from its undead rotting.
Heal
Oh, it's in heal dog heal. Okay, gotcha. I am a cat person, as we all. So they're gonna roll 2d10 on their attack each. So for Soph, you are looking to beat 15.
15. So
Yep.
I have 1 for endure, 1 for just
Normal, and then you
normal.
have +2 then for your.
Okay, so that's 4 dice. I can beat a 15.
Oh no, you're adding just +2, the number +2.
Oh, just +2.
yeah,
Cool
just
beans.
+2. Yeah.
Okay, a 10 and a 4 +2, 16.
Okay, that's fine. You are. It's that thing of like it leaps at you and you just wallop it with the shovel. And Millie, for you, you are looking to beat a 6.
Good luck.
And you're hitting it with the paddle, right? It's the same sort of. Okay, yeah.
Sorry, how many dice do I?
So
1 + 2.
You're using threaten because you want to intimidate it.
Yeah.
Threaten plus, so 2 dice plus. You're not using it. You're using your paddle to threaten it. So 2 dice plus the number 2.
Yeah. So it's a 4. That's a 2. Jeepers. Plus 2. So 8.
Okay. Yeah. It's enough. Yeah. You kind of. It's that thing of like you kind of. You got to almost mock swing at it, and it does. It kind of falters, and it just kind of hesitates for a moment, and it kind of scarpers back. It's a little frightened of you, and then Jacob.
I got nothing.
Well, you only have to beat a 9.
Oh, excellent! Because I got 8 +2.
What are you adding your +2 to?
Well, I rolled an 8.
Yeah. But
and I have a knife.
Oh, but how are you using the knife to defend yourself? Oh yes, I am. Okay, I tell you what, I purely because of that performance, I'm letting it slide. You just sort of. It's enough to kind of like you don't stab it, but you sort of catch it and like throw it off. Your hand is covered in dead dog fur, as you're able to kind of like shank and sort of shove. It feels like for something that's dead or dying or mauled or injured, and it stinks. It stinks worse than any dog. And your granny's dog once crawled through the sewers. This smells worse than that. Each of you want to make an attack roll. So this is now where you get to add a different skill to this, and then you add your weapons rating on top of it.
Okay.
So 1 dice plus the weapons rating.
1 dice for your normal roll, and
yes,
then
and
you
then
get
your
to add
skills.
skill. So strike, is everyone using strike, or is anyone using shoot? Shoot, you can be throwing the knife rather than.
I have none of those things.
Okay.
You know what I do have? Deceive. So I was thinking I could do a little feint. So go one way and then actually come around the other way and Please?
Oh yeah, fine. Okay. So again, so 2d10 plus
2.
Plus 2. And I rolled an 8.
And I rolled a 7 plus a 5, so that's 12 plus 2,
Okay.
14.
Okay. We'll come to that. So you've succeeded. Emma, I rolled an 11.
I had totally 12. So 5 and a 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm having great fun. And Eilish, I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 6.
Yes. Yes. Great.
My deception worked.
Yes, you deceived you into
Should have
thinking
taken a proper skill.
You deceived yourself into thinking that you could do this.
you could do this. Yeah, and denial is a wonderful gift. It's a for Nora, it's a case of as you shove away, like you slap it with the shovel, without kind of looking back at the others, you bring the edge of the shovel down on top of the dog's neck, and it cuts through, not cleanly and not the whole way through, and you hear a gargled yelp out of the dog, and then it kind of its head turns up at you and it looks, and then you just see whatever light that was in its eyes, that red glow, just fades, and the sockets are empty. And Millie, as quickly as you sort of kind of threaten the dog to kind of back off, you bring the paddle straight down top of its skull. And there is a cracking sound, and the dog just flops, the undead creature just kind of flops to the ground. Jacob, you sort of in that same momentum as you shove with the knife, you lunge forward, and when you do, its head snaps back. One of the neck bones just pops out as it twists its head back so far that it's not, and then its teeth latch down into you. I am going to ask you to take a point of injury, and you need to now roll an endure.
So if I don't have that skill, I just roll 1d10.
Yep. And then roll endure. No, it just says roll endure. So I assume when in. Yeah, I don't have the skill, so I think I've been nice to you every other way. So we're saying no to this. So you roll a d10, and then I roll a d10 equal to the number of injure points or distressed points that you have.
Okay.
And you are looking to beat a 6.
I got a 7.
Okay. Yeah, it's that thing of like it bites down, and then you just jam it, like you jam the blade with your other hand, like into its neck, and it starts to like rip through your arm, like trying to like as you kind of jangle the blade in, it starts to bite down harder as it sort of tries to wrestle the knife out of its own head as you sort of try and plunge the knife deeper. Your hand is a mess. Like it's like it is dripping blood. It is throbbing with pain that shoots up your arm. And as you just press the blade deeper, like your blade, we're gonna say is now wedged in its skull. Like you're down to you're now kind of like pressing the base of the hilt in. It is now wedged in its brain. It's dead. You've killed the 3 dogs.
Great. Job done.
That was kind of suspiciously easy, though, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And I was pretty nasty. It's not what I was expecting at all.
You're
Look at
on.
my arm.
I know, I was just about to say, that's really fucked up.
Yeah, it's not great.
Oh, wait. Can I heal myself? When we get back to the house.
Yeah, you can try now, but you don't really have anything on you to heal. You could try and like stop the bleeding if you want.
Here, look, if in doubt, I have some head clippers. You know, if you just want to kind of get rid of it.
Away from me.
Edgar is paralyzed. Like he's just he's in complete and total shock.
Eddie, they're dead. We can go now.
Should we bring the corpses back? Eddie, can you carry them? Because you did nothing else, so...
Fucking useless.
Here, Mr. Lynchman, go get your job back.
Eddie.
Do you not hear her?
No.
Ah, lads.
It's getting too much for me.
I can hear her singing.
What's she singing?
Nobody's singing.
And he just starts to kind of walk into the fog.
Oh,
no, we're kind of meant to be going the opposite way, Mr. Lynch. Come on. I'll try and go and like go after him, try and grab him, pull him, back the way we came.
Yep. So now you're going to try and pull Mr. Lynch away. Millie and Jacob.
I'm trying to push the corpse of the dogs into Eddie's arms and be like, "Look, you'll look like a hero." Just bring
okay.
him
So
back.
you're literally you're trying to hand him the dogs. Jacob?
I'm trying to get my knife out of this dog's brain.
Okay, so you're trying to pull the knife out. Give me a roll of a d10. If you have a skill that you think would be useful, that's not craft because you're not crafting this.
It's the only skill he
No.
has.
5.
Yeah. You can't. It's you can't get the knife out.
Okay.
He's completely and totally oblivious to you, Nora, as you were kind of pulling on him. Millie is trying to like shove one of the dogs into his hand, like as evidence. And it is that thing, Nora, as you go to pull him back, and Millie, you're kind of trying to put the dog into his arms. Nora, over Millicent's shoulders, you just saw somebody in the distance walking through the fog.
Oh shit, oh fuck, Millie. Like, I don't think we're alone. Actually, you know, Mr. Lynch might be onto something. A little bit.
Does Millie see it?
You turn back, and it's just that thing of like when you turn, when you see a shadow.
Oh, I like
And
your peripheral. Like.
Yeah, you turn to look, and there was, but there's nothing there when you look. You can see the silhouette of a large tree.
We're gonna have to go, aren't we?
I think so,
All right, we'll get the dogs on the way back. Eddie, are you with us?
I mean, you could quickly like take one of its heads off of my clippers if you want. Like,
Yeah, I think we have to come back this way anyway. So we can do it then. Let's just go see what this thing's about. It turns out we're actually very good at just killing things. So
seems it actually, yeah.
We have a new job just in case the other jobs don't pan.
We should all just be professional murderers.
I don't know. Yeah, so should we go up there and just see what it is, kill it, come back, get the head, save Eddie in his job?
I'm honestly not sure because he's kind of, you know, Mr. Lynch is kind of a little bit, you know,
Useless.
away with it.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say useless. No, he's really good actually. Do you think we should go in?
Yeah.
Like whatever, like that shadow is. That's what he thought was singing. You know, it's
Like it was definitely the dogs that killed the horses, right? Not this weird shadow thing.
I mean, I haven't seen like a shadow bite like a horse before, so
That's true.
I don't know.
Nah. They're like clouds. They're like soft and fluffy.
Oh, okay.
You touching clouds before?
One time I was in this really high windmill, and I put my hand out the window, and I touched a cloud. It was very wet.
That's the story. Look, we're getting distracted. Maybe we should, because I feel like we're going to lose our jobs if we go back and say, oh, there was another wee shadow thing out there, but we didn't really go to it because it was scary.
Fair.
I think we should go check it out, because we could bring the dogs back, say it was them, say job done, but then if something else comes along afterwards...
We're screwed.
Yeah. Right, and Eddie was walking that way anyway, so we'll get him to lead the way. Go on, follow the song there, Eddie.
You kind of just let like Eddie go. He just it's like he's walking in a straight beeline through the muck, and he all the while he just starts to kind of like hum. You see he's heading in the direction of that the large tree, and he kind of comes to a stop, and he's just standing there, and he's just swaying back and forth
In front of the tree.
Yeah, he's about maybe 40 feet in front of you. He's almost like, much like the tree, he's kind of now obfuscated. You can just make out kind of the outline of him.
Look, if there's anything I know from working in the garden, trees aren't scary. So I feel like, it's maybe safe to approach.
All right. Do we see anything around him? Do we see what he's looking at?
All you can see right now is kind of his silhouette. as you kind of are, and he is sort of like just it's like kind of a drifting sort of side to side that he's just kind of doing kind of back and forth from kind of one foot to the other. As the three of you approach, there is just a and then you see Edgar kind of drop to his knees
Mr. Lynch.
and slump forward.
Mr. Lynch, now's not the time to be doing anything funny. Come on. I try and like get him up. Mr. Lynch, come on.
There's no answer.
Does he have any injuries?
If you're continuing to approach kind of the scene, it has gone so quiet. You can barely, your own footsteps sort of squelching and sloshing through the marsh are barely making any sound. And as the three of you reach the large, blackened, dead tree, you find three bodies.
Oh.
Edgar lying face down, gargling. Like there's literally bubbles blowing out from the muck, and that is slowly bleeding red. At either side of him, at the other side of him, kind of like under the tree, you see the naked bodies of Karis and Roger. Both appear to have been mauled.
You said trees weren't scary.
I
That
was
looks
just
pretty
I,
fucking
I,
scary.
I was just about to correct myself.
Did the tree do this?
I fucking hope not.
This is disgusting. I guess he's not going to get his job back now anyway, is he?
No.
Eh.
Is there like a really obvious wound on his body, or has he been mauled, or does it look like the tree has pierced him?
In this moment, Millie, as you are kind of like trying to find your nerve, trying to find your composure, and like not look at the massacre in front of you, and it's that thing of like Millie has come across as sort of someone who has always kind of tried to be strong in the face of fucking everything. This is not everything. This is something that nobody should have to see. Nobody should have to encounter. And you are desperately trying to steel yourself against it. So as you kind of turn to look away, Jacob, what are you doing in this moment?
He's kind of slowly turning in a circle with the pathetic corkscrew brandishing in front of him.
Okay, so you're kind of panicking, looking around.
Yeah, just seeing if there's anyone going to creep up behind us or something.
And then Nora, as you lean down to see if like what's happened to Edgar, like all of you just hear this soft shrieking voice lilting. Dream deep, my love, beneath the willow. Lay your head on the cold, soft pillow. The dark will keep you close and near. No need to wake. There's nothing to fear. Hush now, mommy's little shadow. Don't you weep. The bog is kind, the roots run deep. The water sings, the reeds will sway, and take your tears far away. And Nora, as you reach and you hear this voice echoing in your ears, as you reach down to check Edgar, the body is just pulled into the fog, down a bog hole less than 3 feet in front of you.
She will like scramble away, screaming.
You see, you hear what sounds as if say kind of the legs are half sticking out of the hole. Something is tearing into Edgar's body. You hear the sound of like flesh being torn asunder, the grinding of bones.
There's something under the tree. There's something under the tree. I'm like crawling my way through the mud.
Jacob, you spin back around,
Yeah.
and you do like it's that thing of like as you are turning to look, somebody is out there in the fog. Somebody is moving. You can hear the voice. It's coming from around here.
There's someone over there as well.
Oh, jeez, I really don't like this. Can we go back now?
Does where Jacob's pointing towards like that shadowy figure, is it the one that I caught a glimpse of earlier?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the one I saw. Do you hear it singing now, or am I kind of like losing my mind a wee bit?
Oh yeah, no, I
No,
hear it. Yeah,
I can hear it.
Okay, that's a wee bit of relief. Well, I don't want to go any closer to the tree because there's something under it, and it's kind of like grinding, like like chopping wood. No. So we either go towards the creepy singing shadow thing, or maybe we go home.
I'd like to go home. Maybe we should go home and get more people to help us.
I mean, the last person we took is getting eaten by the tree.
Oh, God,
So
it's gonna look
we're
really
gonna
bad on
be-
us, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna have to get to the bottom of this, or we're all gonna lose our jobs.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go to the singing thing.
Maybe it's trying to get us away from the thing under the tree.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It could be a good creepy shadow.
Do you think it could be anything to do with, the Lord's like stepmom or anything like that, or his mum? Can't really remember which way around they were talking about.
I would. I'd say so. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say they're pretty closely related. All right.
Great. So maybe like she's nice,
Yeah, maybe she was like, "Oh, I'd love to be banished to the fucking marsh, killing people under trees. That sounds like a great life."
Mrs. Blackmore the First. I don't know what her first name is. I don't think we're on first name terms.
Would
I
I
don't
have
think
seen her
it
first
matters.
name in the no? Because she would have been taken out of it, wasn't she? So I wouldn't have seen it. Okay, Mrs. Blackmore.
Your voice just echoes through the moors. And then they go quiet. And the gnashing and the grinding stops. And then all of you hear the wailing of a baby.
Oh,
Uh,
from the tree.
From somewhere out in the fog. You hear a baby crying.
Oh no.
don't like that. Look, my
Is the shadow
motherly.
still there?
You can see it in the distance, just sort of. It's now swaying back and forth again.
Look,
Same
my
way
motherly instincts haven't really been very strong, like ever. But really, I don't think a baby should be out here.
No, I've 9 younger siblings, and
Good God.
yeah. So yeah, they definitely shouldn't be out here. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
All right.
Unless it's like a trap. But
Nah. Why would you say that? Who would use a baby as a trap?
I don't know.
Okay, new plan. We find the baby. We go get the dead dog. We go home. We'll be heroes for finding the baby.
Did the sound of the baby crying kind of come tree direction, shadow direction, or is it just kind of
shadow direction? Yeah.
Well, maybe she already has the baby, so like it's grand.
Yeah, maybe this is all just a big misunderstanding.
A misunderstanding because
You should be a comedian.
Hi. I'm also thinking about it more because I really don't think we could be staying here too much longer.
No, I thought we were good at the killing, but it turns out we're just good at things dying around us. So
Story of our bleeding lives in these games. What?
So look, we had kind of decided that we're gonna go towards that shadow. So like, do we keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As the three of you move in the direction of the shadow, you can clearly hear a voice. You can hear it kind of talking. Just Shh, Ezra. Shh. Mommy's here. Mommy has you. You're safe, little one. Shh. No, nobody will take you from me. No. Shh. Oh, visitors. Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't expecting company. Mrs. Royston hadn't told me. Uh, good evening. And as the three of you happen into this shadows space, the form turns, and you see the rotten corpse. Most of the skin that has remained on the skeleton has slipped. So there is a slipped visage of a face, and you can see two milky eyes, and they are leaking just this black ichor. And she's wearing what looks to be just this heavy, muddy black, rotting gown. Her hair and what might have been a veil or something are matted into them. Where her skin hasn't sunk, her body is bloated. And you see it's swollen, engorged in places. Some of the flesh and muscle have rotten away from exposure, and you can see a chunk of bone protruding from her elbow that has been chipped and eroded. And she's holding something. She's holding a bundle in her hands. And she just looks at the three of you. I'm so sorry. I don't have your names.
Nora will kind of just look to the other two first.
Hey, yeah, I'm Millie. Anyway, yeah, what happened here? You look a little worse for wear. Everything all right?
Oh, and with the bundle resting in one hand, she with her other, and you see that two of the fingers are broken back and locked in. She goes to kind of pull some of the robe, and it's so wet and rotten, it just rips away, and she fixes herself a little, kind of pulling it closer. I do apologize. Had I known I was expecting guests, I would have asked the servants to have fixed up the drawing room, perhaps the dining room. Were you intending on staying for supper?
No, like we don't really want to intrude that much. We were really just passing through.
Oh, I understand. It must have slipped my mind. I'm so sorry. Yes. Daniel had mentioned. You're from the village. You're from Craigfarnham. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you must be here to set eyes upon little Ezra.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. Great news all around.
Thank you so much. And she, you see that she goes to tend to the bundle in her arms. It looks like a block of rotting meat, wrapped in stained cloth. Like it just looks like a chunk of something wrapped. And you see she kind of goes to tuck some of the fabric around. Yes, of course, please, come closer.
Nah, that's gross. What's wrong with the baby?
Millie. He's lovely. She's just
Shut up!
She's barren.
What the fuck?
Don't anger the crazy shadow lady.
And she just takes a step towards you, and the three of you feel yourselves sink into the quagmire.
He's beautiful. He has your eyes.
What did you say about my child?
I said they're gorgeous.
You're lying. You're lying. Danielson, you haven't come to set eyes upon my son. You've come to take him away from me, haven't you? Haven't you? This is what this is.
I wouldn't want
We
to
would
take
never.
I know
No.
that I know the servants. I know you haven't liked me. I know you don't like my family. I know you don't like my name. But he is my blood. He is Daniel's son. He is Ezra Blackmore.
Strong name.
Yeah, great choice.
Give me deceive rolls.
I have that.
I don't.
I don't.
What if I wasn't lying?
Oh, that's a 1.
Oh, you guys! I got a 13.
That's good. I got a 6.
Okay, so the
Can I
way
never use my inspiration, Declan?
yes, you can. You can use your inspiration
Lovely.
because
Ooh,
you have encountered the beast.
15.
The beast does not roll a d10.
Oh.
The beast rolls a d20.
Of course.
Oh.
Oh dear. That's not right.
And this purely because one of you had the gall to insult her newborn baby.
Millie.
It
This
went from an easy deception because she's fucking crazy. And ampersand d20, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome along.
Hi.
Just as a kind of a content warning, in case horror is not your thing, this might not be the stream. We are fighting a
Beast.
A lady.
disgusting thing with a horrible baby. So
He's beautiful, Declan. Why
Okay.
are you saying those things?
so I bumped the challenge up from an easy challenge to a challenging, which means I rolled 2 d20.
Oh,
dear.
So I'm at
And
13, yeah?
so that is a 16.
damn it! I got a 15.
A 15 is a fail. A 1 is definitely a fail. And Eilish, sorry, what did Jacob get?
13.
Um,
Uh-oh.
Just ampersand d20. Just to break the table for a second. If
Pause.
you want, we have a guide, Emma, who is playing the wonderful Millie, who does not know when to shut up. Has a wonderful document.
I'll find it and share it now. Yeah.
Yeah, we can drop it over on our Discord server. The link to it, how to incorporate these subtitles into your streams to make your games more accessible. And all we ask is that you might mention that D8 Dungeon came from us. It's a open source document. That's all. So if you want those, they're there to use for free, just to try and make games a bit more accessible. And now I feel bad for about what's happened. I'm so sorry. Again, that sinking feel gets worse. Like you felt like the footing go beneath you. Now you feel the kind of the muck and the sand, the silt shift, and now you are sort of sunk into your hip. You're that deep in the muck, and she is moving towards the three of you. I don't need Daniel to love me. I don't need this to be an equal marriage. He has to recognize our son.
Absolutely.
He looks just like him.
It does.
Yeah,
It's a striking
it's
resemblance,
uncanny.
honestly.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Say something nice.
Oh, stunt beaut. I've never seen a nicer looking baby.
Do you wish to see him?
There's nothing I want more.
I am so sorry. I am in I have been in somewhat of a delicate mood since the birth. Thank you, and please, forgive me. Of course, yeah, of course, you've come to set eyes upon Ezra. Put my explosive words to the back of your mind. Forget them, please. Of course, you're here to set eyes upon little
Yes.
Ezra.
Already forgotten. Like, you are totally fine, totally understandable. Yeah, great.
And she's now standing in front of the three of you, looming over you, and as horrifying and as grotesque as her form was, here and now, holding this swaddled mess, she's looking down at you, and you see that the skin is drooping, and her whole body is just dripping this stagnant bog water. She pulls back some of the fabric, and you just see this sort of disgusting creature. It's as if somebody took all manner of viscera, muscle, organ, tissue, and sort of tried to make like using that material, using flesh as if it was clay to try and make something. And it has a vague, abstract shape of a child. And she kind of leans it towards the three of you.
Rocky's gorgeous.
He's beautiful.
I'm going to need all of you to make an endure roll.
Okay. Oh, yes, I can do that. I can do that.
A hen.
Okay. So that's a fail for Jacob.
5 Akilik.
And that is a fail for Millie.
17.
Right.
That is a pass by 2 for Nora. You don't know, Millie or Jacob, if it's her or if it's this disgusting blob that she's holding, that she's calling Ezra, this entity. But as she leans it in for the three of you to set eyes upon it, to sort of pay your respects to the new lord of the house, you can hear it breathing.
What?
And having failed the a role for madness or extreme stress, I now need the pair of you to roll to sort of endure and hold on to your sanity. So in your case, Eilish, I'll be rolling 2d10 because you have an injury and one madness point, and Emma, you have 1 madness point. So I'll roll the 2d10. The green d10 is for Emma, and it's the first of yours as well, Eilish. So okay, that's just a 2.
Oh, I got a 7. Okay.
Okay. And Eilish, the second one was a 6, so you're looking to be 8 in total.
I got 4.
Oh no.
Nope, you've lost it. So you're freaking out. In all of this, you are whatever about this is upsetting, this is awful, this is horrifying, this is terrifying. You are freaking out. You've lost the grip on so you're out of action until someone rescues you. And if you're not rescued, you're at the mercy of the beast.
Cool.
I am. I think it is time for little Ezra. He's due a feed, and then he must be down. Perhaps one of you. Are you in need of employment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have either of you experience as a wet nurse?
No. Hard. No.
Can't say I have.
Unfortunately, not. No.
I usually work with like plants and stuff.
Oh, I see. So,
But what is a baby but a beautiful flower?
you're so full of shit, so. So she's completely ignoring you, Jacob, at this point. Like, she's looking at the two women.
Yeah, he's just like staring at the
Thing. You're locking eyes at it.
infant lump.
I do seem to be in need of one, and little Ezra does need to be fed. So, which of you would like to assist me?
Jesus Christ.
And you start-
Millie's going to start kind of gently pushing Nora forward.
You know, you're the one who said you have 9 younger siblings, so I think maybe you have more
Yeah, but
practice and
I
more
didn't.
experience
I
in this.
didn't feed any of them though. Yeah.
Okay, so she is pressing the pair of you. So I don't know how you want to resolve this, or if you want to, like, if you want to shove Nora at her, Millie, we can do a contested strike and endure thing.
Or we could share. You go for a couple minutes, I go for a couple minutes.
I mean, yeah, sure, if you want to go first.
Right, you know what? I'm gonna save us all. I'm gonna step up and I'm gonna do this. Can I take out my jar of lye?
Yeah, you can do that.
And try stealthily dust some at her face just to distract her.
Okay, so you want to try and blind the beast. Okay. I'm still going to argue that it's an attack roll.
Okay.
Because like, do you have deceive?
No.
Okay, so I think you're better off going for
Strike.
and you're throwing the powder at her, so it's going to be a shoot roll. Strike is yeah.
Okay.
Now, unless you want to smash the jar in her face.
Can I? Yeah, I'm going to try like look as though I stumbled. I don't know how that's going to go, and then smash the jar.
Well, remember you are also sunk hip deep.
Oh yes, okay, yeah. No,
So-
just smash her in the face. Just,
Yes.
I really don't want to be a wet nurse to this meat baby.
Okay, so it's again you've kind of lured her into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
You are kind of plumossing kind of her maternal instincts. You are stepping up as wet nurse. I'm only going to roll 1d20, so you can roll your 2d10 and add +2.
Okay. That's a 1.
Go on, Millie.
That's an 8, a
Right,
9,
so-
11.
Oh,
18.
no.
How does this go wrong for Millie?
She goes to try to smash it, but probably just gets her shoulder or one of the bones that's sticking out, and the lie just blows away in the wind.
Okay. So in this moment, because I'm also conscious of our time, we cut back to Baldwin, at the side of the road, and you hear kind of a groan from Grace as her eyes kind of begin to flick open. Lady, she's still out there. My great grandfather, he joined the Blackmoor estate that summer, and he came with Lady Rowena's family as part of her dowry. My great grandfather was in servitude to the Hallowed family, and that's where he met my great grandmother, Nora Ezekiel. She was a groundskeeper. She told him the story. She warned him from the moors. She said she'd seen real terrors out there. Horrifying things out there. She was the only survivor. And Baldwin just kind of looks out towards the moors, and you see him kind of shiver as Grace kind of like jostles their head and just kind of fixes and kind of groans as they kind of groggily get to their feet. She lays eyes on kind of the three of you and Baldwin, and you see that the sun is beginning to it's now kind of moving into kind of the late afternoon, early evening, and it's getting dark on Craigfarnham Island. As the three of you stare at Fenlock Bridge, and you can just see beyond the edge of the Blackmoor Forest, the trees that mark the perimeter of the estate, you hear the wind pick up. And for a moment, you can hear a faint crying of a baby.
Hates it. Hates it.
She's watching us. The baby's hungry.
Oh, Jesus.
And we will leave session 7, a Cradle of Shame, or session 6, sorry, a Cradle of Shame, right there.
I have a question.
Yep.
Did Nora survive because she was a wet nurse to this baby?
Nora survived because she wasn't the wet nurse to the baby.
Got it.
The wet nurse was devoured by the baby.
Yeah.
And then Jacob, in his catatonic Edgar-like state, was the next thing. It was enough for Nora to be able to scramble away. And also a job awaited for her as long as she kept the secrets.
That was very good.
It was very good.
A very slight bastardization of some of the rules in Grant Howitt's The Beast, a horror RPG by Grant Howitt and Chris Taylor, available on Grant Howitt's itch.io page alongside some other amazing games. A big thank you to Emma, Soph, and Eilish for that really weird American Horror Story meets Downton Abbey
Meets love hate.
Apparently. We'll be doing a very quick crash course in tone before the next game. But that was an absolute blast. Thank you so much.
Oh, we can only apologize, Declan.
So I'm so glad that we got to play this as our return. So that next time we're all ready for the awful stuff that's going to follow.
I just can't be serious and do an Acker accent at the same time.
Okay. let's not use that word.
Sorry.
But tone and everything like that it's when you get into character stuff, you get into character stuff. But I still had an absolute blast. Thank you to the three of you for playing. And we are back for the next episode, session 7, in 2 weeks' time. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we have a brand new episode of Romance at the Dungeon out on Friday. It's the penultimate of the first arc of Fia's journey. I'm so excited for everyone to get to hear kind of where this is going, and I'm going to ruin everybody's Valentine's Day, and I'm so excited for it. And
Aren't you happily married?
Yeah. So I'm ruining everybody else's, so mine is extra special. He doesn't listen to the podcast. On Thursday, we have a brand new show starting here on D8 Dungeon with 4 amazing DMs taking up 4 very different systems, all with the intent of showcasing, playing, and reviewing for your pleasure, and in the hopes that it might encourage you to pick up different systems, maybe consider different play styles. And we kick off this Thursday with our very own D8 Dungeon Amber in the hot seat as the what's the word I'm looking for? The premier DM. And Amber is going to be starting with an overview of the stew pot system. So it looks like a hell of a lot of fun. Hopefully I will see everybody in chat as the guys kick off TTRPG trials. We are D8 Dungeon. We are a group of mostly Ireland-based tabletop role-playing gamers with an absolute passion and graw for storytelling, writing characters and engaging in roleplay. Along the way, sharing them with audiences all over the world and using our platform to raise awareness and funds for charitable causes throughout the year. If you want to find out more about who we are, you can check us out on social media at D8 Dungeon on all major platforms. Why not pop over to our Discord server, where some of the best and coolest people hang out. We share resources, we talk about our games, we talk about open plans, we organize community events, and it's where we go casting first. So if you are interested in taking part in any of our games and collaborating with us, or maybe inviting some of the D8 Dungeon group onto your channel or your games, that is a great spot to grab anyone on the team, anyone on the admin, or you can always reach out to us at d8dungeon@gmail.com. That is it for us tonight. Thank you so much. It's so much fun to be back in the DM seat, and I am looking forward to the next episode.
Yes. Thanks, everyone.
Because it's going to be nice and quiet and simple and lovely.
And nobody's going to die.
Yeah.
Nobody.
All right, bye.
Bye.